Hello mentors, this week we're going to be looking at lesson 8, building a canoe. The first thing I'm going to do is go over all the materials with you guys. So, in your bag you should have rulers, some scissors, you'll have toilet paper rolls, empty toilet paper rolls, you'll have 8 by 8 inch cardboard, you'll have some tape, straws. You'll also have very specific items. This is erasers by Pen and Gear. And you also have a time and table mini funnel. You should also find pennies and foil. You'll also need, for the competition part, a container that can hold water. It doesn't necessarily have to be this big. It can be smaller if you have less students. Lastly, you'll have your worksheets. Your worksheets should include the We Travel Venn diagram, the canoe competition ticket. Blue group should have blue group volume and area worksheet 1, 3, and 4. And yellow group should have volume and area worksheets 1, 3, and 4. The prior preparation for this activity involves you filling up this with water. You want to fill it up probably halfway to 3/4 of the way. And it needs to have enough water so that you can see that the canoe has sunken. And then after that, you'll go into your lesson. It's 6 steps. For this lesson, you first start with your cultural background, and in this cultural background, we're also going to have a Venn diagram. This Venn diagram, what you do is you're going to compare how people travel today versus how ancient Polynesians traveled. And people today, we travel by boats, we travel by planes, cars, bus. Ancient Polynesians, their main transportation were their boats or walking. And so you write in the middle here the things that we have in common with how ancient Polynesians traveled and how we travel today, as well as you'll talk about why they traveled. So you can ask your students reasons why they traveled today versus maybe what reasons, and they can speculate of why ancient Polynesians traveled before. After step 1, you'll go into step 2, which is making the connection between the cultural part of the boats and how boats use volume and surface area and how it's important when designing a boat. After that, you go into step 3 and 4, which is to give the pre-test, and then you'll break them up into their blue and yellow groups accordingly. After that, in step 5, you'll take them through the worksheets. These are the math that they're going to need to know for when they build their boats. So blue group, the first worksheet is basically going over how to calculate volume and surface area of 3 basic shapes, which is the cube, the rectangular prism, your triangular prism, as well as a square base pyramid. So all the formulas given there, you can show them with problem 1, how to solve the surface area and volume for all these shapes, and then the rest of the worksheet they can do on their own. Next, you'll have them go through combined shapes. So you'll talk about how these shapes, the volumes, you can figure out a combined shape. So in this one, we have a rectangular prism and a triangular prism, and how we calculate volume is we find the volumes of each shape individually, and then we add them up. Surface area is a little bit more tricky in that you have to subtract out from the surface area the shared side, and the more detailed information or steps on how to do that is written into the lesson. And then the last worksheet they'll do is on their real life shapes. So there is shapes that combine 2 different shapes. For instance, this for blue group, they'll be looking at the Pen and Gear eraser. So they'll measure the different sides, and it'll actually be a triangular prism and a rectangular prism that they'll have to calculate volume and surface area for, and then figure out how much is the combined volume and surface area. Similarly, yellow group does the same thing. So worksheet 1, they'll talk about their shapes, which is going to be the cylinder, cone, and sphere. You can do problem 1 with them, and then the rest they can try to do on their own. The worksheet 3, again, they'll do composite shapes. So you talk about how volume and surface area can be figured out by finding individual shapes first and then combining them. And their real life object is the mini funnel. So they'll take measurements on their individual shapes and then they will calculate the combined volume and surface area. So in step 6, students will begin building their canoe. Blue group will get the 8x8 cardboard, 2 straws, foil, tape, scissors, ruler, and the canoe competition ticket. Yellow group gets foil, 2 straws, 2 toilet paper rolls, tape, scissors, ruler, and also a canoe competition ticket. Now this one, they'll in each column here will be their different shapes, so they have to in their construction use 2 out of the 3 or 4 shapes that they had on their worksheets. For each individual shape that their boat consists of, they'll have to write the shape here, take all the dimensions, and calculate its volume and surface area. And then in the back, they'll combine it. And in the very bottom, you'll see this final penny count. This is for when they do the competition. So after the 30 minutes are up from building, you'll have them go into the competition where they put their boat in the water and see how much pennies they can hold. Now, the boat will be considered sunk if its hull of the boat touches the bottom of the container, if the hull is completely submerged in water, or if the boat is consistently taking on water. So the moment it starts leaking water and it's continually taking on water, then their boat should be considered sunken. Yep. So they'll write their final penny count, and then you'll see which team had the highest could hold the most weight. Yeah, that's it. So after that, you'll do your post assessment, do your wrap up, and that's all. So see you next week. Good luck. Have fun.